All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So, in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
So 8 years ago, I started a nonprofit, Indivisible Arts, and as a 501c3 nonprofit, we're focused on mental and emotional health tools taught through the power of creativity and art. We are amidst a mental health epidemic here in the United States. We believe it's only the tip of the iceberg, and it's a big iceberg. So what we figured out how to do is build life rafts. Life rafts built with functional tools like consciousness, awareness, mindfulness, radical acceptance, intention, having a vision, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, connection. All of these together create a set of tools that we call the Fundamental Life Tools. So our Fundamental Life Tools program is taught out of Hermosa Beach. We have a creative laboratory called Resin, and it's at Resin that we teach these tools to youth ranging from ages 7 to 22.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
So what Indivisible Arts is working on today that we're most passionate about and we believe will have the greatest impact is a consciousness platform that we're calling the Emerging Consciousness Broadcast Center, the ECBC. And what this will do, it'll make these tools for mental and emotional health available to anyone, anywhere in the world or in the nation. If there's a 15-year-old who lives in Iowa who's really struggling and they don't know where to go, don't know what to do, can't get into therapy for a couple, 3 months, they don't know if it's going to be effective, they've got a place to go right away to start accessing tools that work, that are taught by other people that look like them. Because we have access to hundreds, if not now thousands of teens and youth that have gained consciousness through the use of these tools, these fundamental life tools, and now they're skilled enough to teach it to others. So the Emerging Consciousness Broadcast Center, that's what we're rolling out this year. Extremely excited about that.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
So I definitely believe in the saying, fail hard, fail fast. Even more than our successes, we grow, we change, we learn, we adapt because of our failures and figuring out how to overcome them. Now, my background as a creative director and my natural talent and skill at teaching youth and coming up with programs for consciousness, my sweet spot is there, and not so much as an operator or a fundraiser. That was not my prior background before founding this nonprofit 8 years ago. So it's through learning how to more effectively fundraise that our challenges have created the opportunity for adapting and growth. And so I'd say that's the biggest area for our growth these days, is learning the fundraising game to be most effective. That way we have the greatest amount of resources to impact the most amount of youth.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
I believe marketing in this new modern climate is its own tricky challenge to solve, between traditional with print and ads and articles, online marketing, ensuring that our social media, our Instagram, our Facebook, our website, all of them are up to date. So many things go into ensuring we do the minimum viable product of our marketing programs across the board. However, There is nothing more powerful that I have found to date than the power of parent to parent, peer to peer. Cuts through the clutter. We receive so many texts, so many emails. It's so easy to be overwhelmed. And what I call TMI, there's too much information out there. How do you get to the really, really important stuff? Well, we have a group of parents we call our grateful parents. Those are the ones whose kids' lives we have deeply impacted, changed, if not saved. And that's in their words, my goodness, you have saved my child's life. And let's have those parents go out and tell other people a firsthand testimony as to the power of our program. That always is the single most important and impactful way we can spread the word of what we're doing with our nonprofit.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes. What I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going?
The one piece of advice that I would give to anyone is the single most important thing that I've ever learned. I learned it at the age of 35. I learned it from a neurolinguistics professor who told me this: you are not your thoughts. You are the one having the thoughts. I'm not all the thoughts, opinions, voices, and all the stuff going on in my head. There's so much in there. I get lost sometimes, lost in my thoughts, watching myself argue about two things where I feel both sides of it, and now I'm lost in that. Nope, I am not those thoughts. I'm the one having the thoughts, observing the thoughts. Now, this is at the base foundation of the tool we call the tool of awareness that we teach all of our kids. It's at the basis of mindfulness. It's at the basis of consciousness. We believe to be conscious means to be the observer of their thoughts, not agreeing with every opinion happening in their head. All of our mental health struggles stem from that, stem from a person who has all sorts of opinions, ideas, and voices in their head. No one's ever told them that that doesn't have to be them, and so they're agreeing with what their voices are saying, and it's leading them into negative territory. So this is at the core of all the teachings we teach, this tool of awareness, to be aware of the voices in your head and to be aware that you're not them. You're the one having the voices, choosing amongst them and replacing them with more helpful and better thought forms.
Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
If you want to learn more about what we're doing, our nonprofit's mission of impact, you can go to indivisiblearts.org. That's indivisible, as in cannot be divided, arts.org. And there you'll find out more about our programs, including our creative laboratory, Resin Labs, about the programs we do with foster youth, high schoolers, kids affected by cancer, special needs community. We help and touch so many people. And boy, anybody under the age of 25, we've got something for you. So parents, come check us out so we can help our youth, and come help donate so we can make more impact in this lifetime.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify. And this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely, if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at. and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.